Hello everyone and welcome. This is Dr. Heather Carden coming to you live from my kitchen at Ask Dr. Heather. If you're brand new to Ask Dr. Heather, I've been practicing for 20 years as a health and wellness physician, and my goal on this page, or what you'll find on this page, is hopefully common, credible information, questions that people are asking these days to help really clarify what's happening out there in the media, bring some clarity to the questions that are out there. I know it can be super confusing these days as we have internet now available. We have lots of TV shows bringing us lots of variety of different information. So I actually want to help you answer those questions that you've been going, what's the truth about that, or what's happening? So today it's about a cheat. So originally when I heard this, I always get inspired by patients that I have or people that send me questions. People like, how do you feel about a cheat day? How do you feel about a cheat meal? How do you feel about cheaters? So I went to look at Wikipedia and I got the definition of cheating, because first of all, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to let everybody know that cheating is not okay in a card game, in life. It doesn't get you further. However, you're going to find something very interesting out tonight about a cheat meal or a cheat day. So by definition, reading it right here out of Wikipedia, to cheat is to behave dishonest or act of dishonesty that actually brings order or helps you gain advantage. So other words for cheater are fake, phony, fraud, quack. So again, to cheat is to gain an advantage yourself by being dishonest. So when I first said we're going to talk about cheating, because I hear this all the time, like, who came up with that idea, a cheat meal? Who says it's okay to have a cheat meal? So I'm going to help you bring clarity of what a cheat meal, a cheat day, and what really when people say a cheat meal means. A cheat meal does not mean you binge eat. A cheat meal does not mean you like cut it loose and you eat the whole entire pizza and donuts and go out for ice cream. What a cheat meal is meant to do is actually to help boost your metabolism, help boost your libido, help boost a little bit of fat loss. We have this hormone called leptin. Leptin is a hormone that comes from fat cells. Its job is to create satiety, which means make you feel fuller longer. It's also helped to promote weight loss. What can happen when you do a cheat meal properly, which is just adding some carbohydrates, doing a little bit of variety to what you're doing. Again, this is not about binge eating. This is not about eating the whole donuts and saying, you know what, Friday's my cheat day. I'm going to have everything I want on Friday because I was super good through the week. That's not what creates consistency with your body. So when you're doing something to do a cheat meal, you're actually doing it to boost your metabolism, or so to speak, leptin. Often what happens is, or by definition, a cheat meal is actually a meal that is designed to help fit into your normal diet or lifestyle, but just have a little bit of variance to it. So adding maybe a little bit of sweet potato or a little brown rice or maybe some berries. That would be an example of having a cheat meal and having it at a different time of the day. It is not about alcohol. It is, again, not about binge eating. It's not about, well, I deserve that. It's about taking what you already have lifestyle-wise and then actually incorporating it in to actually boost your metabolism and do it purposefully. We hear this all the time from bodybuilders when they're trying to gain more lean muscle masses, that they want to increase leptin, which increases your metabolism. So kind of define that when you start talking about cheat. And when you use the word phony and fake, nobody wants to be phony or fake. However, there is a way to have a cheat meal or cheat day to actually accelerate your body's loss. Honestly, I usually call it metabolic confusion, throwing in maybe on your keto pancake a few berries here, maybe using a little keto maple syrup on maybe a keto pancake. It's a little bit extra carbohydrates, but it's got a slower glycemic index, so less likely for fat storage. But again, you can look up leptin. It is a hormone of fat tissue to help increase that metabolism. So what I am telling you, it is actually okay to have a cheat day or a cheat meal, but that is not to be consistent with every single week. Oftentimes, I'll say there's 12 major holidays. You have a birthday, you have birthdays in your families, you have anniversaries, maybe graduations, maybe you celebrate Valentine's Day, Easter, New Year's, those type of things. And generally I say you need to earn that. So be very good for 2 or 3 weeks and actually create a negative caloric deficit, or save your carbs to have that glass of champagne. I know I just said no alcohol, but do it very mindfully. So when you're doing that, you're doing it to celebrate and know that you're not going to feel guilty, because this is what we don't want you doing with a cheat meal. We do not want you counting calories with that cheat meal. I do not want you starving yourself after a cheat meal or restricting food. We do not want you feeling guilty. There's no shame or blame blame involved. So when we talk about cheat, again, I know it's a very negative word. We say phony or fake, but you can actually use a cheat meal or a cheat day. And generally what it looks like is you increase your protein, you increase your carbohydrates, clean and healthy. Again, not organic trash, not binge eating, not a donut or a Pop-Tart, but you actually increase your serving size of protein, because we know protein uses insulin and we get amino acids via gluconeogenesis. Increase some healthy carbohydrates like a sweet potato or more red peppers or more tomatoes, things like that are actually great healthy carbs. And then you actually do lower your fat down just a little bit, and definitely no alcohol on those cheat days. So when you're talking about to do that to boost your metabolism, that's exactly how you do it. But if you are leptin resistant, if you have a metabolic insulin resistant, this technique might not work for you. But for the person that's a pretty normal metabolism, this would actually help you kind of boost or break a plateau. And again, you don't want to do it every other day. You don't want to do it 3 days a week. You don't want to even do it 2 days a week. You want to do it mindfully, maybe every 10 or 12 days, and just have that small extra little cheat again to do that. But we don't want you doing it mindfully and saying, you know what, I'm going to cheat today. And this is what happens often when people binge eat or they go on, say, I'm going on vacation, I'm going to cheat the whole entire time. Vacation is not about overfeeding. A vacation is about time with your family and your friends and away from work, and to de-stress and to give your body a break. So when you talk about that word cheat, I know it has a whole bunch of different connotations, but think of that mindfully as I'm going to use this extra carbohydrate, this extra protein, because most people like to eat extra protein. I'm going to use it to boost my metabolism. I'm going to stimulate my leptin. I'm going to stimulate my libido. I'm going to stimulate my metabolism to actually burn fat. And I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to have that little voice of myself say you shouldn't have done that, and I'm not going to actually over exercise the next day like 3 or 4 hours because I knew I was going to have that cheat meal. So yes, you can have a cheat meal or a cheat day, not 3 meals in the day, but a cheat meal would just mean if you're doing intermittent fasting that you're going to add a little bit extra protein, maybe a half an ounce to an ounce or two to each meal, maybe again an extra third cup of carbohydrates, which can be very effective for stimulating that metabolism. I would do it on your higher exercise day. I wouldn't do it on a yoga or a no exercise day, just because you want to get your lymphatic system moving. You want to encourage that metabolism, stay nice and boost it up. So hopefully that was my clarity question today, because I kept getting that, when can you cheat? When can I have this? When can you have that? Well, it's not about when can you have it. You have to think about this. Everything we eat is either feeding a disease or it's fighting a disease. So when you're putting food in your mouth, you have to make that conscious decision. Am I doing this because I am feeding a disease or fighting a disease? Am I having a cheat day to fight a disease if I'm using it to boost my metabolism, increase my immune system? Or am I doing it just because I want to have a whole bunch of fun and I'm going to have to pay the price later? So hopefully I helped, again, a little clarity when we have a cheat meal, when we don't have a cheat meal. And again, I don't want to use the word binge eating, but that's often what happens is people like, well, I've already had one donut, I might as well have 2 or 3. And you know, there's a lot of people, I think tens of thousands of people who just did a 60-hour reboot, and we talk about how you mindfully eat. It's listening to your body when it's hungry, and it's listening to that word appetite. Boy, I have an appetite for a donut, but that doesn't mean you're really hungry for a donut, or doesn't mean your body needs the energy from a donut, because you know there's just straight sugar from that. So when we go forward thinking about cheat, don't think of the negative words. I'm not phony, I'm not fake. And then again, I'm going to read the definition now that we've talked about using a cheat day with a little higher fat, a little higher carb, a little bit less fat to actually increase your leptin hormone. So to behave dishonest, so again, we're using some more carbs to unfairly or fairly in order to gain an advantage. So yes, we are using a cheat day with a little more protein, a little more carbs to gain an advantage for our body, our metabolism. We are not doing it to actually cause any type of, what I want to say, negative connotation on a lifestyle. So when you read that, a cheat day is to boost your metabolism. It's to produce increased leptin production, which can actually help your body reshape and reset that. Often what happens is people actually will, and I'll come back and answer questions, guys. So if I don't get them answered now, I'll come back and type them. So I just keep everybody's time short and sweet tonight. So oftentimes when you're doing a cheat meal, it generally is a little bit of a nicer refined carbohydrate like a berry or a sweet potato, a little black rice, maybe some beans, something like that. But you incorporate it into your normal lifestyle. It's not just an accidental binge, but it's incorporated into your normal diet or your normal lifestyle in order to enhance your lifestyle. So yes, I'm saying cheat to enhance your lifestyle, cheat to increase your basal metabolic rate, cheat to actually anti-age your body, but do it in moderation and do it mindfully so it's planned. So if you know you're going somewhere and you want to save it up and say, you know what, I'm actually going to have that half a sweet potato tonight when we go out for dinner. Or you know what, I've got a baptism coming up and I'm going to have a few berries on the side, and then that's going to be kind of where you're going to have that. So definitely do it mindfully and do it planned, but we don't want this to be in a bad metabolic system where we're binging and we're starving and we're binging and we're starving, because that actually increases visceral fat. So you'll hear people say things like, well, I'm cyclic ketogenic dieting, I'm targeted ketogenic dieting. Well, we all know to get to ketophagy or to get into ketosis, for our body to make those ketones, it can take days or weeks. So say that you're going to eat Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 3 days you're going to eat non-keto on purpose. You're going to increase those carbohydrates. It will take your body 3 or 4 days to burn through all that glucose and glycogen to actually tap back into ketosis. Well, now it's Wednesday, and now it's time to actually start the whole cycle again. What I have seen and what I found and read is that people who do that short cycling where it's 3 or 4 days that they're on or off of ketogenic dieting, or on and off binge eating, or on and off starving. So if you do a very low calorie, it lowers your basal metabolic rate. And then what happens is sugar is so addictive. You have a little bit, then you binge eat, then you say, no, I've got to actually punish myself. I've got to overwork out and actually cut my calories again. My battery's almost low. So what we found is it actually increases visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat around your organs, like your kidneys, your intestines, your heart, that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease people are talking about. That all comes from an increase in visceral fat, because your body thinks, oh, I'm starving. I've got to lower down that basal metabolic rate because I've got to save. I'm in crisis mode. And then you overfeed and refeed and binge feed on things that are non-food items, or things that your body actually can't make healthy hormones from, or don't boost your immune system. Well, then it holds on to that fat for that reserve day because it thinks we're going to do it again. And what most likely happens is you do it again. You do that starvation binge mode. So what we do know is that with fasting, it actually increases your metabolism. With low calorie for a long time, you actually decrease your metabolism. So there's a fine line there. We talk about fasting or non-fasting, answering that question, and then we talk about leptin, non-leptin, and then again when your body can actually handle that. But no, if you are leptin sensitive, insulin resistant, this may not be for you. You may be a person who absolutely cannot do a cheat meal or cheat day. You know your body best, but we're always trying to biohack that. So if you're a person who cannot do a cheat day, your body's super leptin sensitive, very resistant, then I'm going to tell you what I want you to do is just change your feeding times at intermittent fasting. If you're eating from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., then just shift it one day for maybe 12 to 5 one day, or maybe shift it like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just shift that around a little bit and listen to your body, because when you can create that kind of metabolic confusion, you'll actually stimulate your body's metabolism. And then doing more HIIT workout, not long cardio. That's the hamster on the wheel that never loses weight. It just makes a smaller version of itself, doesn't make a healthier version. So that small HIIT workout can be super beneficial if you're a person who's leptin resistant, which is doing very targeted high workout, or high intensity, low intensity, high intensity, low intensity, because it tells your body burn fat, burn fat, burn fat, which we all need to do because we need to get rid of that unstorage weight fat that we've had stored in there for who knows how long, some of us decades. Some of us, if you just got the fat on, let's get it off. It should come off much easier. But again, I want to thank you guys for joining me. I know we usually meet on Thursday night. I will try to do a Keto 101 tomorrow night. But if you are brand new to my page and you have not downloaded my Keto Kickstart Guide to start your day in the right way, go to the link up above, which is AskDrHeather.net. It's my blog. Click on the link. You'll come right to a block square that says, please subscribe. It is free. You can download your page guide there. I've got amazing breakfast ideas. I have not different menus, but some breakfast ideas. I have a food list there that you can make an amazing shopping list from, because we want to keep it simple and make everybody have a ton of success. So again, it's always about progress, not perfection. And hopefully you've learned a little bit more about what a cheat day, a cheat meal is or is not. And it doesn't have to be negative. It can be very positive if you look at it and incorporate it into your normal diet and lifestyle. So again, this is Dr. Heather saying have an amazing day. I can't wait to hear from you.